Welcome to our channel wherever you are here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So today we'll be learning the part 3 and make sure you watch the part 2 and part 1. And by the way, this lesson is about economic, social, class 9 village of Palampur. So let's get started. This is the part 3, you guys, and I'm again and again telling go and watch the part 1 and part 2 if you have not still watched. Okay, so what is rural and non-farming sector? What is it? What is rural and non-farming? Non-farming, what is non-farming? Without farming, that's all. So people working in mining or like construction sites or handicaps, they do like they stitch, but they don't. One second, let me show you guys. So all these are handicrafts, you guys. These are all made by hands and by small scale farmers or small scale people who are not very who are pretty much poor. They do these small kind of these stuff like this and all. These are all handicrafts. So the things like the mining, construction, which is not farming, it is called as non-farming sector. So the local villagers, if you have not must seen, you would have seen packed rice or packed flour or jaggery or sugar in like the retail markets. And retail markets is like small places where you get everything for a wholesale price, which is it's directly from the person who is making it. So this is retail shops, you guys, the place where we can buy literally everything, and it's done by a small scale marketing thing. So they will themselves make all these pulses, and it just needs a little a small amount of land and capital to start this. And then the small scale business people would even do this flour, jaggery or sugar. This is all like and examples of non-farm activities. Non-farming activities means instead of farming, everything is non-farming. Like for example, chips. If you want to make chips, this process is called as agro processing, you guys. So see this agro means, the meaning of agro is agriculture. So now like agricultural processing. So this is called as agricultural processing. For example, if you want to make chips, first they wash let's say potato chips. First they will wash the potatoes, then they'll sort the potatoes, and then they'll slice the potatoes, and then they'll dry the potatoes before frying it, and then they pack the potatoes after frying and putting all the masalas. So this process is called as the agro process, which is agricultural process. So agro processing is the activities that transform the products original from farm to usable that we buy from the shops. Agro processing is nothing but, for example, you eat ice cream, right? So it needs milk. So milk will be done into what is that? I forgot. The thick milk, like the cream milk, and then that that they process it by adding sugar and all the raw materials needed to make ice cream, like the vanilla essence. If you are making chocolate ice cream, cocoa powder, and all, they put that all together and make it, right? So this process is called as agro processing. The activities that transform the products original whatever the product is, they take from the plants, and then they take it from the farms, and then they make it usable. For example, atta. For that you will need wheat, right? For the wheat you have to nicely punch it and take the seeds out of it and nicely grind it. So that's how you make wheat, atta. So that that is straightly not coming from the farms, because if it's like seeds, like rice, it will be, you can't use it just like that. You have to nicely dry it and do stuffs. So the activities that transform a product from farms to usable products that we buy from the shops is called as agro processing. It includes the maintaining of the quality of the product, and then the processing of food and packaging, and many more things. This is also a process of non-farming activities. Okay, the transportation of food and supplies, and then small scale manufacturing, mine is a few examples of non-farming activities. So small scale manufacturing, and then construction, and then mining, and then handicrafts, and then bakeries, and then small retail shops we saw, right, and etc. In these you do not need large scale and capital. So this dairy farming also, you don't need any farm related things. It's just cows or buffaloes or milk, right? So you'll just need milk, and you can like give it off. You can sell it and you can make it at a small land. It doesn't need a big land or a big capital amount that needs to be invested to make like factories or stuff. It's just small scale. Small scale means agro processing. Okay, agro processing means whatever you get from the farms, you cannot use it directly. You have to process it a little bit, then only you can use, and that only will be in the shops. That from the shops we buy. So what it is, that is the activities that transform the products that are from the farms to usable items or usable products that we buy from the shops is called as agro processing. For example, we saw the chips example, right? Like that. So see, for example, a small villager can do dairy farming because it's very cheap and does not need a large capital amount. Because they use goats, cows, buffaloes and etc. for milk, dairy products and animals are fixed because they won't die, obviously, right? They serve their purpose, so they are fixed. Pretty much they stay for a long time. And then the villagers can even do small scale manufacturing like jaggery, flour, and that's not flour, that's flour, and flour, and this can be started with like small machines and stuff. For making jaggery and all, you need sugarcane and all those stuff. When you're making it, you need simple machines like this for a way cheaper price than doing crops and manufacturing it and putting it into bags, yellow bags, and putting it. So it's just way cheaper for a small machine. This is non-farm activity, okay? So you can manufacturing jaggery, flour. This can be started with a small machines and with the help of family members as laborers, and the profit and outcome can be for the family and the transportation sectors. And how does the thing? For example, if it's a nice brand and you want your brand to go with everybody, so you just need your product to go to all the shops so that they can be sold. So transportation sectors. So transportation, the way how can it transport to other parts of the shops for your products to sell. So you do a lot of autos. They will have all your products. I told you, right, in the part 2 or something, you have started a candy shop, so you have all the candies in the rickshaw. In rickshaw or tanga, rickshaws means rickshaw wala means auto, tanga wala means horses. Horse, and the back there will be like a bullock cart but with horse. And what is this? Jeeps and tractors and trucks and bullock carts. The people are only doing it, right? Bullock carts, and the bullock carts also people will pedal the cycle, and sometimes there's something like the bullock cart, and in the starting there is a cycle, so that it's like a square here and then there's a cycle here, so they have to pedal it to go forward. So that's it. And a lorry. Obviously a lorry is you know about that, right? How they take all the items and give it to another shops, because it's like so big. When you're this is very big, the transportation will be lorry or bullock carts or trucks or tractors or jeeps, and rickshaws and tangawalas are pretty small, it's normal. So those are all the transportations of which you can give your goods to give your products to the shops. All right. So a small general store mostly is opened by farmers with their family, because it does not need a large land or money or capital. It does not need a large land or capital, and then they can even open a shop in a small land like their backyard, their room, or with just a small amount of savings they can just start it. So what is the importance of non-farming activities? This method has helped a lot of landless laborers to suppose that this has helped a lot of landless people who don't have land. They work for other people for low wages. Instead of that, this non-farm activity has helped these people who do not have the lands of their own, and landless laborers who are the poor people. And this has helped everyone, and the government has even recognized this this form of economy, and then this farm economy, and they even boost it by putting all the policies and schemes, and this government are helping our to for the empowerment of our community and our society. So this is utilizing all types of non-farming activities like agro processing, which is the chips one. Yeah, so what you buy from the farms, you just process it a little bit, and then it will go into shops that we can buy and we can use it for our food making or stuff. So So that is called as agro processing. The examples are chips. And then dairy farming, we saw, right, like small villages can use milk for dairy farming, and it can be done in small land, and the capital is also pretty and the capital, we don't need to put a lot of capital, which is investing money into whatever we are doing. After dairy farming, we have small scale business, small scale manufacturing. Small scale means we saw that handicrafts, the jaggery and all that sugar and stuff, they do it in the small scale with small machines with their family as laborers, and then they'll get a profit which is for themselves. So there is, no need to separate money for the laborers because they're family. Okay. And then the transport sector, we have auto rickshaw walas, and what is that other thing? Tangawalas, jeeps, tractors, trucks, and a lot more. And these are the transportation sectors which take your product to another shops, and then they sell it on your behalf. And then small store. A small store is nothing but the retail stores that farmers keep on their own, which we already saw the picture in the starting. And then this is contributed in economy's growth. So all these are, growth of economy. This says that poor people can also make their own business and own retail or own small shop, and then they can make handicrafts and many more. Everybody is worth a try. So you guys, we completed this lesson, like totally there are no more parts extra. That's all. The lesson is over. Now we're just gonna see a summary of whatever we have read. So the rural or the rural non-farming sector is an alternative that provides employment to people in rural area, which is people who are not very well able or not very wealthy or not able to manage their money or stuff. They are called as rural people, and it helps a lot of people who are poor or the farmers who do not have their own lands. And what is agro processing? Agro processing, we just remember the chips thing. The chips, first they take the potatoes, and then what they do, they wash the potatoes, and then all the steps, they, whatever comes from the farm, they process it, and then they'll put it in the store so that we can buy it and use it for our needs. That is called as agro processing. And dairy farming, taking milk from the cows, goats, buffaloes and stuff. And small scale industries, the retail ones. And on the transportation is auto wala, tanga wala, jeep, what is the other thing? Tractors and lorries and all the stuff. And then there are a lot more, examples of, these are some of the examples of non-farm activity. Not many people are the part of rural or non-farm sector due to issues like connectivity with markets and lack of knowledge or skill or limited access to financial institutions, because there are quite a lot of stuff that they have to have the knowledge of the entrepreneurship. They have to have that. If they know it only, they can plan this. I want to do this. I want non-farm sector due to these issues. I want to build my place here. This is a small retail shop. They have to know what they're doing because of lack of skills, and and sometimes they do not have place to even though it's a small area, they do not have place, and the limited access to financial institutions, etc. And then the government even plays an important role in the in this small scale business, or like the rural non-farm sector thing. And then they promoted this kind of thing, and they let to know that farmers can do anything, or like low class people can do anything, that we can do. And normally who and all will do this retail shop? Farmers will do it, and then the poor will do it, or the landless laborers who don't have land and who work for other people for less wages will do it, and many more. So that's it, you guys. It's been such a beautiful journey learning this lesson. They say, right, there is so much meaning and so much things that you learn in this lesson. I completely enjoyed this. If you haven't watched the part 1 and part 2, I'm again and again saying go and watch it, because it's gonna be interesting. And thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you like, share and subscribe for more, and comment down below what lesson you want me to teach the next. Bye.